Hey guys, and welcome back to Pure Heart. And as you guys can see, I'm in a different area, and this will be the future of Pure Heart for a while. I hope you guys do stick around because there's going to be actually some really exciting updates that is coming up in the future that you guys definitely don't want to miss. So remember to hit that subscribe button. Again, it really helps out this channel. And again, you never know what you're going to get with Pure Heart. You may get an album that's a week late. So there's that. But anyway, let's get into it. So Graves into Guardians is the latest album by Elevation Worship. And guys, again, I'm sorry for this review being out so late. As you guys can see, again, I'm in a different area. And so that's why it's a little bit late. And plus, I was gonna do this earlier, but life, sometimes happens here and there. And so that's usually what happens. And so you guys will actually have two reviews that came out last week coming up this week. And whenever I first listened to this album, I was not a huge fan of it personally, just because it just sounded the same. There's a few songs that I do have a problem with, which I will kind of get to within the review. It's basically simple stuff right there. But there is some really interesting things about this album, especially the very popular song, which is called Rattle, which was even considered to be on this album, but because of the circumstances, Stephen Frederick and the rest of Elevation Worship decided, hey, why not we have this song that's, crazy and rattly, which at first listened to, I was not a huge fan of it, but as soon as you get that beat going, you start to really, really enjoy it. And I think the reason why a lot of people are actually enjoying it is because it's a little different than what you hear on the regular basis, but also at the same time, it's not too different for casual listeners to be like, I don't know how I feel about that. But, it's up to the point where it's just like, that's different. I quite like that. But that's also normal. I quite like that. And whenever I was listening to this album, I got a lot of Bethel's latest one that they had. That was kind of their latest one, but kind of not their latest one. Came out in 2019, which is called Victory, which was released around this time last year. And there's a lot of songs that do sound similar to that. Especially Graves in the Gardens, just musically. It just kind of sounds like Ain't No Grave. Because it has that, deep folk-ish country type of vibe. And you also have the very kind of famous song that's kind of been blaring a little bit, that's a lot of people have been enjoying, which is called The Blessing, which I don't enjoy personally, mainly because it's kind of a little bit all over the place, just from a personal aspect. I don't really enjoy the beginning part. The bridge is fine, but it's, every time I listen to the song, I definitely want to skip it and go on to the next one, which is usually whenever the album kind of goes to a little bit sour. Just saying that it all flows well together, but a little bit too well, that it all sounds like a continuous song, but it's not. It's like two songs that should be one song that is together, especially the songs No One Beside, Have My Heart, and Available, where they both kind of sound the same. They do both have the similar artist, so that's probably the issue right there. Not saying that the artist is bad, just whenever I was listening to the artist, where her voice kind of sounded like the girl singer from Mosaic MSC, which I enjoy Mosaic MSC here and there, but the similarities were kind of there, and it does sound like a Mosaic MSC type of song. And this is really an interesting point with Elevation, that after Mack Brock left Elevation Worship, You know, they've just been trying to find their footing here and there. Hallelujah Here Below was kind of hit or miss. There's only 2 songs that I really enjoy on here. And for this album, there's kind of only really 3 songs that I do enjoy on here, but even then, that's kind of a little bit pushing it. I've only recently liked Rattle, but the songs I really do enjoy about this album is Graves into Gardens and There Is a King, just because Graves into Gardens does sound a little bit different. So there's that. And also, There Is a King is amazing musically and of how it flows into What Would You Do, which could be just a little bit, just 2 minutes shorter personally, just because it's just the same thing over and over. That's also another huge problem I have with this album. But overall, I'm gonna have to give this album a 3.5 out of 5 praise hands. An album that is okay, that they do try some new stuff within here and there. Rattle should be probably a huge favorite just because it's different and it doesn't sound like a normal beginning song, but it's really good. Then you also have Graves into Gardens, which exemplifies what this album is about. And There Is a King, which is a very, very enjoyable song musically and lyrically. Anyway, if you guys would, leave a like onto this video and also comment down below what you guys thought about this album and also what you guys want me to review and also what I missed, what's coming up, or whatever it may be. Put it down in those comments. It really helps out me. And also, if you're new here or a returning visitor, then maybe hit that subscribe button. It really helps out this channel. But guess what? You are loved. Boom. Bye.